Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Getting right on into it with Draft 1 of LuBu versus Die Gaming. And, welcome, Ace, to a very expedited edition of the Ace Nectar Heroes the Stormcasting podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. This is we needed an early one for Ace, so I'm not entirely ready, but it's my fault here, so that's okay. We do have LuBu versus Die Gaming out of, oh god, B Northeast. It's in the title. Thank goodness you had that reference available for me, Ektar.
No
And,
problem.
yeah, looking for a good match. We've casted LuBu, I think, twice. Once in the regular season, or maybe last playoffs, and once in XGDI, so we are familiar with them.
I think we were also in the same division as them, like, on one occasion in the last, like, 7 seasons.
I don't believe that's accurate.
Eh.
Maybe it was the C West season, but I doubt it.
You do have...
The one that I wasn't in.
That would be my guess.
But that is what my ability to go to the match archiver is, or the season archiver is, while you go ahead and talk about, actual functional things.
I will talk about a couple of functional things, such as how we got to Dragonshire, which we haven't even mentioned yet as being game number 1. The coin toss was won by Die Gaming, and they actually opted for map pick.
What?
Die Gaming banned out Brax's Holdout, LuBu banned out Tomb of the Spider Queen, Die Gaming banned out Battlefield of Eternity, and LuBu banned out Hanamura, so all of the two-lane maps, and also the smallest map, all out of the pool. And for game number 1, we are on Dragonshire, which Die Gaming have played 3 times and won 2 of those times.
Seems like a good reason to go there. I want to see what they have in store, what their plans are. First Pick has dominated, I think, Season 10 more than any other season as far as team preferences, so I'm curious why they have opted for such a rare pick.
I also am. I think we had a map pick. I don't think we've ever had a match open with map pick, but we've had teams opt for map pick after losing game 1.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We do have Suikoden going ahead, picking up Tassadar for LuBu on the left side there, and ETC Sylvanas picked up for Die Gaming. That's a very interesting combination. I kind of like Sylv on this map because there's so much rotating and so many opportunities just to do a little bit of free structure damage.
Oh man, I get to ban somebody in my chat because no, I don't want to become famous.
Oh, I gotcha.
I genuinely do not want to ever become famous.
Same. That's a real talk.
Ideally, I'd like to be a footnote or just mentioned not by name in a legal case somewhere, and that is as much fame as I ever want.
That is a very specific but relatable amount of fame. Like, just enough so you're not just non-existent, which is a real feel, but also, like, not big.
So we haven't really talked about the heroes too much. The bans coming out from Die Gaming are targeted at LuBu. Their most played heroes are Kilthos, Lucio, Artanis, etc. at 5 and then 4 for the others. So definitely banning out the most played heroes on the side of LuBu. And coming out from LuBu, their bans I think are kind of interesting. Banning out Diva, who just got nerfed, Urel, who was nerfed a month or so ago, but has never been
nerfed. Hand of Freedom.
Oh, she got nerfed again, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't even see them as one of the most played heroes for Die Gaming. They might be one of the more played solo laners, maybe wanting to target the solo lane player in particular, at least early, and then going with the Anduin ban, who did just get buffed, but I still haven't seen a whole lot of recently.
Yep, looking at the hero's profile statistics, globally Diva's still a top 5 hero. Filtering to Diamond Master, your sample size is almost low enough where I don't believe enough of the data, so I'm not going to go with that. But Diva still remains a very powerful hero overall. So,
yep, but Gazlo has actually kind of exploded after his buffs.
He's over 60% globally now, Ektar.
Yeah.
11.4% up.
Yeah,
Turns out when you buff everything, it's kind of just OP.
I mean, they buffed everything from Anduin, but he's still not OP. But I think they went a little far on the Gazlo changes, which, like, way to go, BMed. It is your time in the sun, but I don't think it'll last more than 3 weeks.
Cassia 2.0.
Yeah.
The weaker side of the rework into the busted side of the balance patch. It do be like that. We have Leoric and Rhaegar coming out. I like Rhaegar on this map because camps are good and Rhaegar is good at camps.
I like Artanis on this map
si-
because Stonk's on point.
I do too. I think it's one of his better maps as well. But we do have a Brightwing coming out, which I think's been seeing more meta relevance or meta popularity lately. And I can't argue it.
There was a slow burn on Brightwing after her buff, where they reduced the cooldown on her Z, but also nerfed her level 1 talent kind of to compensate. I think she got a couple of other small changes, but I think she's just in a good spot right now because of Polymorph, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Polymorph, always a strong talent. You can polymorph the ETC for any kind of mosh. You can polymorph Tychus for a large proportion of his minigun ability, and that was the fastest load in history.
I have seen faster, but I'll get into that later.
True.
Spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, they are the Lunch Bunch, with Alan Hicks playing the Lord of Terror, Suikoden playing Tassadar, Spoticus playing the Artanis, Streakwing is on the Brightwing, and Bandit playing the Jim Raynor.
And on the right side of the map, in the red trunks, we have Die Gaming with Glitterbeard playing the ETC. I want to see him play Murden. Kazarus playing Rhaegar. Gecko playing Tychus. Hydrahawk on Sylvanas. And Seamus Khan on Leoric.
Yeah, the fastest load time I ever saw was last season when I played with 2 Calculated to Throw. We played Gilly Shark and had like a second and a half load time. It was insane.
Yeah. I was still pretty quick, though. I'd put that in the top 10%.
Getting some Silk Cheese early on in the bottom lane. They're going to be rotating very quick, so not even getting the entirety of that tower. And now we just have all the esports happening. And looking at talents, both Artanis and Jim Raynor have gone esports talents on level 1.
Yep, we do have the Protector of Ire, so grabbing that 2 auto attack from the twin blades. He's actually in a bit of trouble, but how Alan Hicks comes into the side with a nice Diablo peel, but Spoticus is low heading up to his soul lane matchup with Seamus Khan.
We also have the newly reworked Press the Advantage on level 1, which turns Tychus into a regular range auto attack hero instead of a short range one.
Yep, giving the bullets a little bit extra oomph in them, so gonna be able to shoot him one range further, so that should help him play safely, or more safely, against this Diablo. So I like the pick.
Yeah, I like Brightwing because she just, every time you hear Tychus trade, you just become unto sheep and then can't attack anymore.
Yeah, but you have to make sure he attacks once, because the cooldown doesn't, the duration doesn't start ticking until the first auto attack comes out, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. I would like to try that in a custom sometime to verify that.
I could see watch. That. You can just click on Gecko.
You can click on Gecko because it'll ruin the observing experience if I do it.
Understandable.
Jim Raynor trying to get a very quick channel. Let's see if he manages to get it in time. Just barely turned over by Glitterbeard.
And nice save there. Some early, like sub 2 minute Dragon Knights are surprisingly common just because of a fast siege camp into capture, but Bandit very low. Gonna walk out with 40 health in the mid lane. Nice rotation down by Seamus Khan to put that pressure on, and now a couple members of Die Gaming, but also a couple members of LuBu, fairly low.
Streakling actually going into Polymorph for a very uncommonly chosen talent. Normally you'll see either auto attack range or Q range, but getting that extra little slow and a little bit of damage on Polymorph can sometimes make the difference, and it's actually an AoE, so you can, I think, kind of use it for damage on the team, but I think the slow is the most impactful part of that talent.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty impressive how slow those critters can get. Bandit, once again, in a bit of trouble. Does have that heal, so he's able to go ahead and walk out now with the newly granted 25 armor due to the level 4 talent, so does allow him to escape there. His rotations kind of have somewhat normalized for both teams here.
Yeah, we do see the important bruiser camp being picked up on the side of LuBu. Again, Jim Raynor is ace in the hole in level 1, so doesn't have the greatest camp clear, but he's still an auto attack hero, so it's pretty good, especially with Brightwing there to tank shots for him.
Brightwing also was able to bribe 2 of those as well, so you don't need Exterminator if there aren't as many minions there.
That is a big fact. We did have a rotation into the mid lane by Leoric so they can maintain that XP as well, but it does give opportunity for Artanis to maintain that pressure in top lane and push a little bit with their Berserk camp.
Yeah, it seems like Gaming is definitely opting closer to a double soak strategy, where they put 4 people in the bottom as they aggress onto Alan Hicks in the bottom, and then let Leoric soak the top 2 lanes, whereas LuBu's opting for a more typical dedicated soul laner with frequent rotations into the mid that you see Bandit doing. So we'll have to see.
Does have most of the top wall down already, though. There is a rotation coming in from Tychus to try and punish him for that. Looked like he was trying to do a QE disengage, but misses the E and kind of just flops around like a Magikarp out of water.
Oof. Unlucky to be a Magikarp out of water. To be fair, Magikarp in water, still not very good.
True.
But an understood analogy nonetheless.
Yeah. So we do have another rotation coming into the bottom lane. Glitterbeard taking some damage, but I don't think Suikoden has the damage output to actually finish the job. And now it's a 3 versus 3, as Jim Raynor and Tychus are both rotating down to try and make this into something. It's a full E build coming, W build coming out from the Tassadar, which fell off a little bit during the buffs to the Q damage, but then they nerfed to the Q damage as well, so not 100% sure where he's at these days, especially with the most recent nerf to Plasma Shield, and Jim Raynor does get poked out by that Shadow Dagger.
That was very close. That Shadow Dagger was on the edge of range, and there was tick damage going on, so very, very close. But now this allows Gaming to push down into the bottom lane with that Sylph trait and pop the first 2 towers, exposing the well, which could be a really major point, but also just making it so their lane will push better in every scenario. So, good advantage there.
Both camps are opting to take their siege camp. They had just come up relatively recently, but the double soak value coming up from Leoric is really starting to show here as we miss the one with XP totals the first time, and then pull it up correctly. A little under 1,000 XP differential for the Tychus between the offlaners, and that's showing with an almost full level advantage, and especially with that level 10.
Yep, with level 10s, there is a nice window here for Gaming to be able to control the bottom point and try and take top. Shamus Khan and Spartacus fighting in the mid as the push is going on down here in the bottom lane. It's Gaming attempts to break down into this fort area now.
Yeah, we do have the Bloodlust, the Mosh Pit, Entomb, Commandeer Odin, as you can see, and the Wailing Arrow. So all expected. Also, we do have an RQE combo kind of coming up from Elnix, hitting the Q and the different heroes, but it still worked really well as Gecko is getting very low. Spartacus does finish it off, and the Bloodlust coming out just a second too late to get him out of that move speed. Sylph actually gets polymorphed out of her Banshees, so she's in a really rough spot. The Mosh Pit hitting several, trying to disengage. Is successfully going to Hydrahawk, trying to Hearth, but is Suikoden going to sniff out the location? He is not. Really good teamfight coming out. Oh, just barely too late.
I'm talking like
you're going to be kicking yourself when you watch this later.
Oh, that was so close. And nice job, nice presence of mind as well from Spartacus. Right after getting that kill, rotating up in the mid lane, Shamus Khan was able to grab the top button and was looking for a free capture on the DK well. There's a 5-man in bottom with LuBu, but the good game sense there by Artanis was able to interrupt that.
Yeah. Small pointing out during the last patch rather, there was a change to the way that HP works, where something like 80% of it is now in shields. It was a bit of an engagement coming into Bandit, just barely gets out of there. I don't think that the slide from ETC actually hit at all, but if so, it was immediately cleansed out by the Brightwing.
Yeah,
so like 80% of it's in shield, so if you poke it out and don't do any actual HP damage, it's really hard to take the healing wells out over time now. A nice little Shadow Charge into the Task Wall combo. Put some damage into Gecko there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest combos that I've started to see people take, is the Shadow Charge into a random spot with a Task Wall on it. I think that's got a lot of capability of really cool play, so I want to keep seeing that here from Suikoden and Alan Hicks.
If Ariel ever comes back into the meta, and I think she does need just a very small tweak to get her there. You could definitely see the detainment strikes serving a very similar function as well.
Ooh, good point. Yeah, the whole big wallbang comp. Gecko coming in for a gank onto Spartacus. The Entomb's going to block the top way out. The suppression pulse from Artanis is actually going to let Spartacus get the kill and the swap. Is he going to get out of this?
He's not, but he did take someone with him, which is awesome.
Yeah, but he's going for another. Hydrahawk's in a bunch of trouble.
Oh
Dash
my
does
god,
miss.
almost got another one.
That would have been amazing, but nonetheless, it is a 1-for-1 trade, which is, again, better for LuBu than I would have expected.
Yes.
As Bruisers continue to push top and bottom.
Not gonna lie, if I were the Sylvanas there, I'd have dropped a, thank god you missed that E spray.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Bottom fort taken by LuBu, so that's first fort of the game. And, yeah, looking pretty strong right now. Team's pretty even still. XP gap less than half a level, so no team with a real upper hand yet, but I think that fort's the first real major advantage that's been taken.
It is, and it's a curious game as there has been virtually no team fights, no real ones. There's been a lot of 4-person skirmishes and a lot of picks, but very few. Ooh, Gecko getting beat down by Alan Hicks there. ETC finding a big slide, not going to actually rip the mosh. It's just barely off cooldown. That Entomb actually walling 2 in and 2 out. Really good wall, but not quite enough damage to finishing the kills there, as it looks like LuBu are going to be able to disengage. Mosh Pit just comes off cooldown, but he gets polyed out of it. And Diablo is the first to fall. Bandit is the second to fall. Spartacus is deep in there, but I think he wishes he weren't, as he's going to be the third to fall. The single-person Mosh Pit is a whiff, but who cares when you get 3 kills natively?
Yeah, that was a good fight there for Die Gaming. There's just a clean 4v5 or 5v4 they took. Artanis was the most delayed to the scuffle that occurred, so yeah, it gave just enough time for the ults, and barely. I mean, it was very close, but they were able to convert that fight in their favor. Now it rewards them with the first Dragon Knight of the game just after the 10:30 mark.
Yep. Very well done by Die Gaming, taking the advantage that they got and turning it into the first Dragon Knight. And it's almost 11 minutes into the game, so it's got some pretty good building damage behind it. The Dragon Knight does do bonus damage to buildings, and you see how it just rips through that mid-board.
Yeah, indeed. LuBu is down level 16, so they do need to be a little careful with any kind of aggression. Dragon Knight peeling is fairly good, as they can make any fight essentially a 4v4 with a bonus DK, which it is bad at team fighting, but still.
Quite a bit of damage from Gecko. Glitterbeard gets a nice slide, and DK kicks the Diablo away. Suikoden's actually very low, is going to pop the Dimensional Shift to get on out of there. Not anywhere near as good as it used to be, but it's still a pretty powerful ability against the right team comp. Dragon Knight can get a little bit of damage, take out one tower, and get on out of there, and I think it's pretty smart from LuBu not to try and engage this, because they're still down 16 and an Odin's up.
Yeah, that is a reasonable thing to do. They will, however, pick up their level 16 talents here. We do have the kind of more utility Rhaegar build here coming out with the essentially root totem for Rhaegar and the Spooky Walk to cut damage here on Leoric. So
yeah, and in particular, not picking up the Lightning Shield on 4, instead going with the Healing Totem, which is, in theory, a lot more healing, but those totems just fall so very easily that it's not a huge surprise that it's not taken very often, because even a Diablo Fire Stomp will kill one in one hit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I don't know the exact classification, but whoever makes those for Rhaegar needs to make them out of something better than wet paper, because that's about their durability. So
yeah, you should subcontract out to the same person that does the slowing totems. It'll be much more durable.
Yeah, or time traps. Those things take like 7 tower shots. It's actually incredible.
So much health. So we do have top fort being engaged on pretty hard by Die Gaming. LuBu are taking their opponent's camp in response, and oh boy, Swadek has put himself into quite the spot a cuss, and he's going to go down, and I'm going to go away because that joke was just incredibly awful.
you wanted to do someone's spot, and then Ikis has a
oh no,
not a lot of follow-up.
I knew exactly where I was going
it.
when I started that joke. I kind of regret that I followed through on it. We do have a Hearth
Glitterbeard.
party coming out here. Glitterbeard sniffed out that they might be here, but once again, just like quarter of a second off on finding them in that bottom bush area. Really well done by both teams not to get caught with their pants down in the bottom bush.
Yeah, man, imagine the chaos that would ensue if they nerfed Hearthstone time by like 1 second.
No thanks.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Do have both teams trading out top and bottom respectively, and it's actually getting to the point where it's really close for Die Gaming to hit level 20. If I'm them, I'm really not looking to fight here. And if I'm LuBu, I'm really looking to fight here.
Yeah, but you can't force a fight too hard, because then it's just not a good fight.
It's true.
You want to fight, but you also want to find the right fight. And if Die Gaming doesn't give it to him, you know, that's how it be.
Yeah.
So.
And the only person really showing out on the map in a manner that could be considered even a little unsafe is Leoric, and he spooky walks out of there.
Yep. However, Die Gaming knows that everybody is up in the top lane, and with level 20s, not even so much as on the horizon as right here with the tower, they're going to safely push into this bottom lane and at least apply some keep pressure, if not do a little bit of damage.
Well, they see people showing up, so they know that they're no longer in top lane. Leo could probably just go on to top point at this point and just rotate on to take the DK. This is a very smart positional play coming out from Die Gaming, just using those really big brains to out-position their opponents and get basically a mostly uncontested DK.
A Spear of Adun contested DK, however, is only one interrupt. There's great zoning here from the rest of Die Gaming. Spotic is going to get taken out again as he was unable to find a kill and fought to his valiant death. And now 5v4, the Odin's popped and the Dragon Knight marches on mid-keep. Big buried alive from Shemiscon is going to cause a whole bunch of problems. Right wing ports in on Bandit and does end up saving their life. Mosh Pit lands on none and gets interrupted by the Penetrate round, and now ETC in a lot of trouble. Is going to get burned down by the Tassadar Beam, but not enough to result in the kill. But the Dragon Knight is melting quickly, Ektar.
It is, but it's definitely going to secure this keep, and making the wise play here and just backing up, letting the DK expire, seeing if they can re-engage. A lot of damage going into Suikoden and Bandit, but not quite able to find an engagement yet. Big silence, but it's not currently leading on anything. Seamus Khan is spooking and trying to find Suikoden, who is barely alive and is not any longer.
Yeah, Shamus Khan's in a bit of a spot, but he will be able to walk out. Sylvana's still not picking up her level 20 yet, as Die Gaming looks to approach core here, but it is through the mid, which is the hardest lane to end through. ETC in a lot of trouble, but does get out. Bloodlust is popped. And wow, Entomb comes back off cooldown. Right wing blinks into it. Spoticus and Alan Hicks taken down. It's so close. The raid boss core almost made it happen as two members were stunned. Sub 1,000 health, but it will not matter.
Yeah, this is the hardest core to end on, but when you got no core defenders left, like, you can take those petrification shots all day.
God, look how good they are, though. That's so long of a stun. Like,
especially
that's
if you
a 2
get
second
comboed
stun.
with both. Oh my god, it's nasty.
I mean, that's a mosh pit worth of stuns. It's so good.
Really got to point it, call out Die Gaming's disengage. They just backed up until they had their heroics off cooldown, and just as soon as they did, they ripped the Entomb, and that was all she wrote for LuBu in game number 1.
Yeah, the heal totem, small MVP there, does a lot of healing. I mean, it does 20% of health over 10 seconds, and they were able to just sit in that totem for a while and let LuBu overextend into him, and then took a really nice counter engage that let him basically win the game. So well done there by Die Gaming to just leave when they need to and then take their opportunity fight when they could.
Small shout out to getting immediately into the draft and not showing the before screen, so I can actually put the maps into the tool.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. So yeah, nice performance there from Die Gaming. I believe both these teams are fairly similar in record. Die Gaming 6-5, LuBu 4-6 going into this game. So a bit of just a very small. I've looked at it only as these numbers on the page and haven't looked into anything else. A little advantage there for Die Gaming, and they definitely showed it in game number 1. They wrestled control of that game really well after about level 14 or so.
Yeah, overall, I felt like they had a stronger game plan. They went into it. It seemed like they definitely intended to go in with the double soak strat, and LuBu's adaptation was to try and push out the top lane. But when you have that Protector of Ire, you have good hero damage. You have that scaling hero damage. It's just not as good at actually pushing, so he wasn't able to get as much value in the top lane as the Leoric was able to get in the mid and top lanes.
Yeah, and when you're having to counter double soak in that scenario, you will have fewer Protector of Ire stacks, so good recognition on that from Die Gaming to be able to work around that, and it seems we're going to Towers of Doom next, Sektar.
Indeed, I have no idea who chose this map.
The team on the right, so Die Gaming did, so LuBu did in fact opt for first pick. So, as we would expect, LuBu opting for the first pick here, and just saying, we'll take that advantage in draft and see if they've got another pocket strategy for this. Towers of Doom, though, as far as lane arrangement is concerned, quite similar to how Die Gaming just played Dragonshire.
It is. I will counter that this is a map that looks so much more like that last match that it's what LuBu should be expecting either to do or to counter in this game, so they will likely have a better counter strategy with either their own double soaker or a powerful means of ganking Die Gaming's.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. There's
Dragonshire is in a weird spot where there's like a lot of different things that you can do, and all of them can be strong in their own right, and they require different counters. I don't want to say Towers of Doom is a solved map by any means, but the breadth of strategies is a little bit narrower.
I agree with you there. I believe personally that Dragonshire is the most dynamic map in the pool.
Agreed.
For better and for worse, it makes the game more complex, which can drive away players and teams from it. But it also
drives our team away.
Yeah, but it also has really good capabilities if you come in with a plan to really make it work. But Towers of Doom, as you said, because bottom lane is so much more important, double soaking becomes a dominant strat, and unless you're running Abathur, Vikings, or something else, like a gank comp, you generally just have to match it. And that's, we'll have to see if that's what we get here.
Before we get in too much onto the draft, I do want to thank Zavaset and Sailor Sky for the follows during the last match. I really appreciate it. As we get into the draft for Towers of Doom, one interesting thing I'd like to point out, LuBu have won this season on exactly 2 different maps, and this is not one of them. They've won 2 maps on Infernal Shrines and 2 maps on Alterac Pass, and on no other maps. So history suggests that they won't win on this one either, but we know that nothing is that set in stone.
Yeah, that is very true. I'm looking through match history here for Die Gaming. They have been to Towers of Doom thrice, opted for a Malthael double soak twice. Lots of twices, actually. Twice taken Uther, twice taken Tassadar, twice taken Johanna. So look for that as kind of their default composition, and see what kind of variations they go from there.
What is Die Gaming's win rate on this map, if you know? Because in Stats of the Storm, they'd only played it twice at 100%.
100%.
So
I was looking at
very nice.
Season. That was Season 9 data, because it's June 28th when they ran this. But
from Stats of the Storm, they've played it twice with 100%
twice this
win rate.
season. Yes. They lost against Spooky Ghosts. But with Gecko, Kazuris, Hydrahawk, Shamus Khan, Glitterbeard, so at least 4 of this, all 5 of the same people, so it's still a valid data point.
Absolutely. Going in with the first pick, Tassadar, I think that's really interesting, because he just got nerfed again, and I don't think he had an egregious win rate before that.
Are we replaying the same draft? This is identical. Like, please get me off this VOD. Okay, things are different. Wow.
Wonderful.
that was identical down to everything. Like, if you had to
Not the
recreate a
Leo.
draft...
The Leo band was different.
You're right. It was Diva and,
Urel.
You're right.
Still real similar
Real,
on the
yeah.
whole.
Yeah, Tassadar into ETC Sylve, then Tank, second DPS picked up for LuBu. So they've picked up all their standard damage core if they're opting into a standard comp with the Raynor Tassadar, which is a strong pair of heroes for sure.
I like the Brightwing band because it was genuinely pretty effective in the previous game, and this is a map where I think Brightwing can be much more effective because it's bigger and it has more defined rotations. So if you're losing your double soaker either to the other double soaker or to a smallish gank, Brightwing, and then you just
sure enough,
follow the double soaker for 2 waves and you've got your Z back up.
Yeah, that is very true. Good ban there from LuBu to take away the Malthael from Die Gaming.
It worries
that
me
is
though.
Preferred. It does. It does mean there's only one left. However, history suggests the Sonya, and the history is correct so far. As Seamus Khan opting for the Sonya and the Rhaegar again.
So from a purely metagame standpoint, Zool is the expected pickup here. There's generally 3 S-tier double soak heroes. Malthael and Leo are banned, and the other one is Zool. Sonya is a pretty decent double soaker. She doesn't compare in double soaking to those two. We've actually got a Ragnaros, which I think is probably about Sonya tier in just wave clear ability, but then every 100 or so seconds he's got much better wave clear in the form of another wave.
It's how much that will compare to the teamfight potential as well, though. Is the Lava Wave going to make up for being an objective or mostly weaker hero in the team fight? Not entirely sure. Also, real quick, I know Suikoden played Zool on this map because we called him Sokoden before. So, interesting that we did not see that there.
And there is not a lot of gank potential from the side of LuBu, and Zeratul is pretty darn good gank potential coming out for Die Gaming, so I'm worried that they just have a smarter draft for this map than their opponents. They really have to worry not to give up too much value from Ragnaros getting picked up from Zeratul Sonya.
Yeah, however, the Tassadar Raynor damage core going to be able to pump out a lot of damage in the bottom lane where ETC can't sponge all that up really easily.
Big facts, if true. We have once again spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, the Lunch Bunch with Alan Hicks playing the Johanna immediately into the bot lane. Streakwing on Ana, Suikoden on the Tassadar once again. Spartacus this time on Ragnaros, and Bandit, your bestest boy, playing Jim Raynor.
Alright, and on the right side of Towers of Doom, in the red trunks, we do have Die Gaming once again. Glitterbeard playing ETC again. Kazers playing Rhaegar again. Hydrahawk playing Sylvanas again. Gecko, new hero on the Zeratul, and Seamus Khan playing the Sonya.
Also going into, I think that's Tough as Nails. Yeah, going with the block talent level in from Sonya makes a pretty fair amount of sense against against Jim Raynor. A little bit less sense against Tassadar because it just rips block stacks off with that 4 auto attacks a second.
Yeah, that is very true. We do have 4 Ragnaros looking at level 1 talents. We do have Sulfurous Hungers, which makes sense if Ragnaros is expected to double soak. But gonna go ahead and be stacking that up for some extra Q damage when possible.
Ooh, Spartacus already taking a lot of damage and is likely going to be the first one to fall. Seamus Khan surviving with 112 hit points on tower shots and is just going to be able to spin to win in the top lane to get a lot of that health back before Rag comes back.
Yeah, Rag needs to not stand in the middle of the lane and let Sonya whirlwind both on him and the lane, because that's how you lose the lane to Sonya very quickly. She becomes like the best soul laner in the game if you do that. So
I know it's a minute in the game, but Die Gaming are looking incredibly comfortable in this map right now, just chunking damage into heroes. Bandit getting pretty low, just kind of 1v1ing Sonya, already having popped his E. Zeratul is just jumping on people like he's going to do right now onto Suikoden, and I don't know, this is feeling really good for Die Gaming this early on.
Well, I mean, they're doing the same thing. They've got Sonya, which is, albeit not as good of a double soaker, but they're still doing the same kind of thing. Double soak with your off laner, send some people up to gank every once in a while, and watch LuBu try and do a 1-1-3 and get picked off during it. So, yeah, Invade comes here on the left side of the map, and Glitterbeard just takes control of the point. Gecko going to be sticky on the Streak Wing, but is going to take a Sleep Dart and a Task Burr to dissuade him away, but during all of that, Die Gaming just going to go ahead and grab the Sapper Camp and slam him into the bottom lane.
Yep.
With Merc Queen.
Getting picked up just before those getting slammed in there. Actually, they don't have Merc Queen. Oh, it is Merc Queen. I didn't remember what that challenge looked like. Bandit taking some pretty good damage, but Gecko would be... Oh god, I was going to say a fool to actually blink in on that, but he does go for it and immediately blinks back out again. Just a lot of damage coming out here from the Zeratul, which is a little bit surprising. He's generally considered a pretty weak hero early in the game, but Sylvanas, caught without her Banshees, is going to be the first kill over to LuBu. Or for LuBu, rather.
Yeah, it comes at a fortuitous time, too, as the altars are spawning here in the, the middle, and, of course, the two up top. So we'll see probably the two traded 1-for-1 up top, but it's really going to come down to the fight down here in the bottom lane, which I would say favors LuBu because, Die Gaming's just playing a later game comp.
Glitterbeard getting a pretty good slide towards Bandit, but not actually able to get on the other side of it. Kazra's taking a lot of damage, has to pop Trinket, and is able to walk on out of there, but there's just so little health combined on the side of Die Gaming. Hydrahawk is here now to put the damage into Bandit, but he just kind of walks at Alan Hicks and takes a fair amount of damage for it. Zeratul, I don't think, actually got an auto attack there, so not able to use his one to get on there.
Ooh, Streak Wing is landing the Sleep Darts. Gecko actually going to try and 1v1 Suikoden up at the top part of the map, but is going to be able to escape. But these Sleep Darts, Ektar, there were two-player Sleep Darts there, and Overdose on 4 might still allow for even larger Sleep Darts. So, seems good.
Spartacus.
Bye, Spartacus. Yeah, he is.
Very unceremoniously, 4 people rotate on him, and unless you press your 1 or wherever you set your trinket to before that ETC slide comes out, there's really not much we can commentate. Suikoden looks like he's going to be the next victim of the 4-man gank squad, and just, yeah, 2 relatively uneventful kills going over in favor of Die Gaming there.
Yeah, these are pretty big kills here for Die Gaming. They're gonna really be the keys that let him get to level 10 faster, but with the Sylvanas, every kill matters more, as every kill is turned into definitive structure damage as opposed to maybe having to go take their own camp. So that's going to convert this bottom bell tower over at the 440 mark for Die Gaming, and they're going to be able to go take the opponent's camp or their own camp and then defend bottom, and this is very important for the double altar phase here, both in the bottom lane.
Yeah, LuBu have done a really good job with their team fights. It's just, unfortunately for them, they're getting caught in not team fighting situations where they're extremely outnumbered, and Die Gaming have been able to convert basically every one of those into a kill. We do have the Singularity Spike onto Alan Hicks. Gecko goes in for an engage, is re-engaging onto Bandit, finding some pretty nice damage, and as they're trying to push these Pumpkin Sappers into the death zone, Sonya has rotated down from top lane and is going to get the middle channel as Johanna gets engaged upon and dies. It looks like it maybe even pop Trinket as well. Suikoden takes a lot of damage and he is not able to get enough heal darts. I think they stopped all of the Sappers from going in, but they did get the first of the Bell Towers and have a very easy channel onto the second, as Sonya is already back to double soaking.
Let's see, let's do some math on stream. There's 11 damage done. There's a 4 cap and a 5 cap, so that's 9. So 2 Pumpkin Sappers actually went in. Here's 5 more damage, and this game already firmly in the favor of Die Gaming, up a level and a half already, still in control of the bottom bell tower, and with ultimates, there's no way LuBu takes us back anytime soon.
And Bandit's dead.
Bandit's dead again. Yep, they expect the rotation into the bottom. Instead, or LuBu expected that rotation. Instead, they just go ahead and kill somebody trying to cover soak. That's a classic move, as they're going to try and push into this mid lane now and see if they can get 5, 6, maybe even go for the 3 cap here quite early on.
We do have the level 10s getting picked up just now for the side of LuBu, which can help them to de-push these lanes a lot. Spottic is taking quite a bit of damage. The Wailing Arrow not able to get the damage in, as the E was able to give Rag enough move speed to get out in time. Only Gecko has been on this defense for like over a minute and a half at this point, and he's done enough on just wave clear to make it so LuBu have had a heck of a time trying to take this back, as Glitterbeard and Kazris are coming in to try and make this into an even fight, and not quite finding a kill. The stage dive even coming out, trying to get the damage onto Suikoden, and does not have the regenerating shield, as that did get nerfed on the level 4 in the last patch. So Suikoden just gets the one shield, and no more after that on the Archon. They will recapture this bottom bell tower, but they traded a lot of health and time for doing it.
Yeah, but Die Gaming having a Hearth Party down here in the bottom lane, so it doesn't say the health seems to have been traded out fairly evenly. Die Gaming was really low at the end of that, so I think this might just be a clean 1-for-1 here, but we'll have to see if Die Gaming chooses to get aggressive.
I have to imagine not. Like, an even trade is in their favor at this point, being up already 8 core shots.
For sure. There you go. That is, in fact, Math Leap goes on to Suikoden. Spear does miss, though, and that'll prevent ETC from getting into range in time to try and follow anything up. Big clumping up. Nice Sulfura Smash from Spartacus. ETC trying to channel a stage dive, but it goes on short cooldown, and he's taken out. Spartacus trying to chase down Hydra Hawk, and does get them with the Meteor at the end, but it is going to trade out a Suikoden. 2 for 2 already in this fight, and Rag looking for more, but I don't think he'll find it, as both teams kind of going to lick their wounds. Gecko. Ooh. Almost a nice save there from Rag, but not quite, as the kill advantage just barely taken for Die Gaming there.
I gotta say, I really am impressed with the way LuBu are taking 5 versus 5 team fights. Like, that fight started extraordinarily bad for them, with Sonya leaping onto the Testar and doing a ton of damage, and then Jim Raynor running into their backline and getting punished pretty hard, and they turned that into an almost even fight down level 13. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
If at any point in the later part of this game there's an even team fight, this game could still turn around. Bahamut loves to say that it is the most comebackable map in the map pool, and I've always agreed with him on that point.
Yep, but it is the big worry for me here, Ektar. The Zeratul power spike is in 1 level now. That Void Slash on 16 is huge for him, and it doesn't. And it's even bigger at level 20 if you opt into the Shadow Mending. So it's going to be an uphill fight regardless.
Yep, Gecko looking for an engagement. He does go in with that Singularity Spike Blink, not deciding to rip the Void Prison just yet. Glitterbeard did pop the Gladiator's Medallion. Ragnaros actually isn't down here yet. All ults available for both teams as we get into this 5-person team fight.
Yep, Spartacus opting into the Rag Fort, but Alan Hicks taking a bunch of damage after the D-Shield's worn off. Healing coming in. Here comes a Void and the Leap combo. 3 caught in the Void from LuBu. They are going to be not taken out. Suikoden pops the Archon just in time to stay alive. Gecko takes a bunch of damage from that Shockray Shamaskan. The first to get taken out does get taken out. Second, Alan Hicks going to go down. Another slobber knocker of a fight here. Bandit and Zeratul traded out 3 for 3 as this goes down to the wire. Spartacus trying to do as much damage and sustain with the Streak Wing as possible. And I don't think either team really has control of this. Maybe LuBu, just because they have higher health bars until the taps come through.
Higher health bars, and I think Ana Ragnaros is just a better composition to be in, as long as you can keep them off of the Ana, which is admittedly a pretty big tell, as Hydra Hawk doing a lot of damage to Streak Wing, missing the Sleep Dart, and that is a lot of damage going into the Ana. Kazris is going to chase them down, and that is the kill on Ana going over, and now Spartacus is in a world of hurt here.
Yep, but if he can stall it out enough, Tassadar was the first to go down in this fight, so they'll be back pretty soon to try and cause some interrupts, bring the damage. Not quite going to happen. I think that was Sulfura Smash that tried to get used, but didn't quite make it. But I think now this is Die Gaming's to take.
Yeah, it definitely is. As the leap comes in, Hydra Hawk is going to do the follow-on damage, and we have the power of that stage dive coming in. Is going to put some damage into Alan Hicks. Suikoden does get taken out by the Withering Fire, and things are now, I would say, starting to snowball in favor of Die Gaming.
Yep, definitely. LuBu had the chance to restabilize there, but the fight just barely didn't go in their favor at the 2v2 level at the end there. So Yeah, what a crazy point there, and that might be the definitive point where Dai Gaming takes full control of this game, up level 16 and able to control bottom bell tower for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, at this point in the game, it becomes increasingly difficult to take that point of the map back, as well as it becomes an increasingly important point to have control over. As we do have 4 versus 3 in the bottom lane, 4 versus 4 now as Tassadar comes in, as 3 Pumpkin Sappers waddle their way in. Alan Hicks and Suikoden putting in a fair amount of damage. We're not taking them out quite yet, and that is going to be the Sappers going down, but still an advantageous position for the members of Dai Gaming, but they're opting to give up bottom point. They're going to take their camp, they're going to maybe try to put some damage into mid, or maybe get a rotation into Swiggity Swagneros, who has sniffed this out as Gecko is coming in for an invade, but is not going to be able to find a kill out of this. Oh, he might now, though. Just barely missing the slide. The trinket gets popped, and Spoticus is going to go down, but there was a lot of abilities committed for it. Actually, only
that is true.
Wailing Arrow.
Yeah, Wailing Arrow is the only long cooldown one, though, and that gives a free capture to Dai Gaming here, and they're going to try and take both top altars here and let LuBu go ahead and take the bottom, and that's a +7 trade for them, and that'll put LuBu down to just 6 core health, which is starting to approach that critical level.
LuBu are starting to push this, and I was wondering if they were going to do this. Dai Gaming immediately ripping boss, putting LuBu down to 2 core shots as they have no chance of responding to this in time. Suikoden's Hearthing, I guess they want to try and get top back. I really would prefer them to take bottom because that gives them control over more future objectives. But now LuBu are in a really precarious spot. They basically cannot lose another team fight. You cannot give over really any more picks, as Dai Gaming is going to pick up the middle keep, and really there's only 1 keep left, and they're already starting to rotate down to it, and I think Sylph already popped trade, but there's just so much DPS on the side of Dai Gaming that it may not even matter.
Yeah, and they don't have to control it for long, albeit top is about to flip over. Void's going to isolate out any of the damage of LuBu. 2 kills are going to be picked, or 1 kill going to be picked up. Top bell tower, most importantly, actually converted over, so there's not going to be a 6-cap victory for Dai Gaming, but they are going to have control of this bottom bell tower, as if we look on the minimap, next one, single altar, right there, middle of bottom. So having control of the ones they do, very important.
Yeah, Gecko going in for an engage. He does have that Shadow Mending, so it's really hard to take him down without overwhelming damage. No, actually doesn't have it yet. It's not picked to level 20.
Take your Shadow Mending, Zeratul. You could have taken that 2v1 easily. Let's go. Sylv also holding her level 20, but otherwise we have Ignore Pain, Crowd Pleaser, big fan, and Gladiator's Warshout.
Yep. And it is do or die time for LuBu. They can try to take a fight down level 20. They're low on health bars, but frankly, when you don't have the chance to take a good fight, you take the fight you can, and it is do or die time for them. I think I already said that, but Sylv already making way to channel. Seamus Khan is trying to interrupt Alan Hicks from getting on in there. He does hit the shield onto several members, but Hydrahawk is going to get the uninterrupted channel, and that is going to be a 2 versus 1 for the members of Dai Gaming, and honestly, pretty convincing fashion in that second game.
Yeah, strong performance there for Dai Gaming to take the series 2-0. And yeah, sweep LuBu out of the set on 2 very similar play styles. I think Dai Gaming knew what they were doing on those maps and showed a little bit of the power of the map pick. If you've got your strat straight.
Yeah, I remember Logical Decision had a almost pretty similar strategy, or at least a similar Process 2 strategy, where they would take Dragonshire and actually push top lane down with Zagara and just do too much siege pressure to actually contend with. It was really impressive to watch.
Yeah, I think
less impressive. It felt worse to play against. Let me tell you what. But
oh yeah, for sure.
As a spectator, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think the era of map pick or everybody taking first pick is interesting, because I wish there were a few more strategies where you could just take map pick or be forced on a map pick and just say, this is what we're doing, this is our plan, and this is how we're going to execute. I don't see that quite as much anymore, so yeah, nice job Dai Gaming for basically doing exactly that. So.
All right, gonna see if we can get Glitterbeard on here for a post-game interview.
Yeah, sounds good. Did Sylph take her
people.
20 in either game? Because they, she didn't pick one up by the end of that game. I don't know if she did at the end of the other game either, which is, weird flex, but okay. She could have taken the blink to get to the altar faster, which may or may not have mattered. It didn't in this case.
Some circumstances, it could have mattered.
In some number of alternate universes, it actually made the difference in the series.
I'm going to pop up to a higher lobby so that we can be joined by Glitterbeard, because I think he's waiting for us before joining a lobby.
Alrighty. I guessed wrong.
Yeah, to be fair, 2 is the one I would normally go for. And welcome and congratulations, Glitterbeard and Seamus Khan.
Yeah, thanks guys. How you doing?
Doing pretty alright. Not gonna lie, didn't get as much time to prep for this match as I would have liked. Normally I like to do a little more research into the teams, but frankly I'm not entirely sure that research would have mattered, because you did some stuff I was very not expecting, and it was really interesting to watch.
Oh, like what?
I don't play a ton of Dragonshire. It's not mine nor my team's favorite map, but very seldom do we see double soak run on that map.
Oh.
I would call it low popularity, like sub-quarter of the time, but we do see it a decent amount. But
the reason why we opted for that is because being as the Leoric, I could double clear a lot faster than Artanis could.
Was Artanis shown in the draft by then? I actually forget.
No,
okay.
He was last picked.
Yeah. Okay.
So was that an on-the-fly decision after the Artanis was picked then?
Mostly, yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay, that's pretty interesting.
Cool. Yeah, because you have one pick left after the Artanis is picked up, and
yeah, and I couldn't really 1v1 him, and I would just give him a whole bunch of stacks if I tried to. So
I like that adaptation because it is somewhat hard to just straight up 1v1 fight in Artanis, and it becomes increasingly difficult as he gets stacks. So, I mean, circumventing that but just not fighting him and allowing your team to push bot the whole game, I think it worked eventually. Early game it was a little precarious because he started to get some serious damage done in the top lane, but over time LuBu just wasn't soaking as much as y'all were, and you're able to pivot that into some very strong macro pressure.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm sorry. Most interviews have more questions and fewer just statements coming out from the caster.
No, that's good. No, I'm just letting Seamus take care of this. He's doing great.
Yeah. For reference, Artanis ended the game with 137 stacks of Protector of Ire. So I think definitely would agree.
Pretty low for that map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agree. I think the good break point is like 250-ish around level 20. Part of that being that there are only 2 takedowns, but still, part of it comes from the fact that Leo's just double soaking. So again, well done.
We did get a bit of an issue when the Rainer would rotate and get the bruisers, because then I would have to stay up and clear that, and then I would miss mid, or I'd just stay mid, and then top would get free damage. So that did give us a bit of an issue there.
Yeah, it was just never quite enough damage to actually make the difference. And I wonder if the Artanis had gone into the amateur opponents, if that would have allowed him to get enough siege damage to actually counteract what you were doing. But there's no way he could have known that was the plan necessarily going into it, and then you could have just readapted back.
Yeah.
So I guess the big question on my mind then is, why map pick when you had won the coin toss? Which is not a question that you can answer, so your captain is actually going to have to field this one, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we just like map pick. We don't really give a crap either way, whether it's first pick or map pick. I think at Die Gaming, we do shit differently. So we want to do map pick. So, but I mean, we don't care either way. We don't care.
All right, that's a good enough answer 2v4.
And I think we've kind of established ourselves as the Dragonshire team, because I think we've played on most of the Dragonshire games this season.
That is something that I could look up, but not while conducting an interview for sure.
Yeah, no, we for sure, Dragonshire is just fun to pick for. We don't see a lot of people play it, so what the heck? Maybe Hanamura next. If people start banning Dragonshire, maybe we'll go Hanamura. Who knows?
Unfortunately, it was banned out in this series as
right.
Yeah.
So you banned out 2 out of the 3 2-lane maps. Do you just again prefer the 3-lane maps?
I would think, we prefer the 3-lane maps, but again, I think we feel comfortable. We feel comfortable wherever. I think we just, I don't know, getting rid of the 2-lane maps is easy. It kind of narrows it down to how we strategy wise we draft.
All right. So then going into game number 2, it feels like after your game 1 draft and execution, Towers of Doom is the obvious choice for you to go to, because you did the Towers of Doom strategy on Dragonshire, and then you just did it again, only better in the second game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. No, we went into that draft, and I think we just said same. Like, we're just gonna do it again and see what happens. Obviously, we made a couple adjustments along the way, but drafting wise. But we felt comfortable, like you said, playing that style again one more time.
I will say it felt like there was a pretty interesting adjustment on that map where you had the 4-man rotating between mid and bot a little bit more than I see most teams doing in the early game. The times that I usually see that done are with Leoric because he doesn't have great double soak until 4, but you guys did it early on, and like Sonya isn't the world's best double soaking hero, but she also isn't reliant too much on talents to get that done. So what was that decision about?
Go ahead, Seamus. You got that one.
I wasn't in the 4-man. I can't answer that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn it. No. I don't know. I'm not the strategery guy in this team. So I'm just the pretty face and the scheduler.
Good use of strategery, by the way.
Thank you. So I think if we're always moving, if you don't stay stagnant in one lane, especially in in Towers of Doom, you always keep the other team, on guard basically. And so whether that's going mid bot, and then taking a peek at their camp or going to our camp or whatever we decide, I think it was just trying to keep the other team, on the back foot a little bit.
We also did get 1 or 2 ganks on the Tassadar in mid.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
And 1 or
That's
2
true.
ganks on the Raynor, and 1 or 2 ganks on the Johanna. There's a lot of 1 or 2 ganks on the Ragnar. There was a lot of ganks happening that game. I mean, that's just it goes to both your drafting and your playstyle. Like, Zeratul, really good at just going in and putting a little bit of pressure on their double soak hero, but also with the 4-man rotations, it's like, let's just see if we can find anything in the mid lane. Oh, look, we got a kill. Now we can invade our opponent's camp. And it really looked like you have that strategy just kind of down pat.
Yeah, a lot of practice, I would say. A lot of communication. We've been playing together for a while, so we almost, I wouldn't say communicate too much, but we communicate a lot. So it was good. It was good for us to, again, strategy.
So looking at the bans that you had coming out in both games, banning out the Kil'Thas Lucio. They are the most played heroes on LuBu. Is that just to get them off comfort picks, or do you have that much respect for their individual skill on those heroes?
That was
Both?
purely just because it was their most comfort heroes.
Okay. Ace, do you got
And-
anything?
Nailed it.
All right. One thing that I found interesting during my 4 minutes of scouting for this match. LuBu have won on exactly 2 different maps, being Infernal Shrines and Alterac Pass. Was that identified during your scouting as well?
Hydra Hawk did the scouting. So I don't know. Maybe.
So
This is my favorite interview.
Fair enough.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't tell us.
it was noted, except we felt like it would be okay if they picked the larger maps. We just didn't want to play the 2-lane maps, in the off chance that they did switch it up.
All right. Well, I think that's all I've got for questions. Ace sounded like he was sitting back in his chair and had to lean forward just to say "got it" into the mic. So I think that we're done with the Q&A portion of the interview. Ace,
Call me out like that.
I thought I heard him snore. He was like, "No, yep, you got it."
I
No,
guarantee
I had
the
to
series was
unmute.
more engaging than that.
I had to unmute for background stuff.
Is it a dog? I bet it's a dog.
It's not a dog.
That's unfortunate.
Sorry,
So,
Ben.
yeah, that is the end of the Q&A portion of the interview, so we're going to give it to you guys for any shout-outs.
Okay. I would say shout out to LuBu. Thank you. Great games. We appreciate it. A lot of fun. Obviously, the team, and my wife for putting up with me playing this.
And I'd also say thank you to you guys, the casters, as well. It definitely makes it a whole lot more interesting to watch.
We always appreciate it, and we picked up this series in particular because we noted that there's like 6 different series that started at that same time slot, but Die Gaming and LuBu were 2 of the teams with the lowest percentage of games cast, so we wanted to try and get you guys back up in there.
Oh, thank you. That's fun. We really appreciate it. Really, it's fun to have the games cast. It's fun to do the interviews, even though I can't answer most of the questions. But we appreciate it.
And we appreciate you guys putting on good, entertaining games for us. It's I mean, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for y'all.
Well, thank you.
All right. Looking ahead, it looks like your next match is going to be against Legal, who are on top of the B Northeast power rankings right now. What do you have, without giving anything away too much, like we've had some of our interviewees in the past do, how are you going to be prepping for that team?
I got a question for you guys. Do you have any tips?
I haven't watched Legal play at all, so I genuinely could not help you with anything.
Dang it.
Here's a tip, not tip. Ban DB Smiley, get him salty, and then watch the throws come in. It's a perfect strategy. Can't see anything wrong with that.
He's a caster as well, isn't he?
He
is
the
the
head
head caster.
Oh.
We said the same thing, and then you two said the same thing.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. No, honestly, we haven't. This is gonna sound. We haven't looked at it yet. One game at a time. I'm gonna use the old sport. One game at a time. Look at what's in front of us. So no, we're excited to play him though. It's always fun to play, the head guy, the top guy, and see kind of where you match up.
Yep. Work on the scouting. Get some extra scrims in. See if you can't take out the head honcho. Be good.
Yep. So no, we don't know anything yet. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's to be fair, that's the response I get most of the time. Most teams are like, I mean, we're just taking it one match at a time, looking too far forward. It's a very, very standard answer.
Yeah.
Which means you're boring.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means.
All right, thank you guys for.
I could lie and say no, this is what we plan on doing, but I don't have that in me right now.
Well, we appreciate you for coming by for this interview.
All right, thanks, you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, and have a good rest of your season.
Thank you.
All right, back into the casting bunker.
The favorite kind of bunker. Well, the world ever ends, and we have to get bunker.
It's
like buy some TVs. We'll be like, all right, Ace and Nectar, here's the Storm Casting Podcast coming at you from Nuclear Bunker 12. See some strong ghost play from the opponents, but no. Yeah.
Do you remember when there was actually a ghost rush at the start of early Legacy of the Void? That was awesome.
Oh man, I don't remember that exactly, but I feel like I could if I saw one game. Like I remember the idea of it.
I remember there was an Archon mode tournament where someone in QXC did a Ghost Rush against Protoss and just kind of killed all of the Zealots and Adepts that they were able to pump out, and it was a hell of a match.
Pretty
Anywho,
sweet.
as we continue talking about StarCraft, we are looking for a match to try and send on your way, but because I'm a biased person, I'm trying to find my favorite caster that's currently live. So we can
Arrow RG's live?
Arrow RG, and he's casting Illa Dancing Queens. Oh man, that's just too easy.
That's free. That's free.
That is the freest raid in the world, so we are going to set up that Arrow raid for y'all.
And they're even starting game 1. They're in draft of game 1. It could not be better.
I can already see that there's an Anduin and a Stukov, two of my favorite healers, so we're going to get the raid starting in just about, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever the raid countdown is. And thank you all for coming by. Thank you for the follows, Zavaset and Sailor Sky. Sailor Sky, I'm pretty sure you were followed before and are refollowing, but you know what? That's totally fine also. Always appreciate the viewers and stuff, and yeah, we will see you all next time.
See ya.